Okay, good evening, Canada. We're talking to you from Tralee this evening. It's actually afternoon your time. It's about 9 p.m. here. My name is Cyril Gavaghan. I am responsible for the Canada desk in our international office. So I'm going to be talking to you for about the next hour or so. I'm also going to be joined by two students who came to us in September from Ontario. Justin Elwood is from Georgian College, and he's actually our first Georgian College student. He's in third year in the business studies program on the management stream. And Casey Hislop is a massage therapy student from Fleming College. So I see that we have a number of students who are particularly interested in massage. So you probably should wait until Casey comes on, because while I can talk to you about business studies, I won't be in a position to talk to you about massage. Anyway, where is IT Tralee? We're down in the southwest of Ireland. Basically, we're known for our beauty that nature bestowed on us, and therefore we are a tourism centre from an Irish point of view. Just to put things in context, some time back we had a massage therapy student who came to us also from Fleming College, as it happened. And you can see what she said down on the right-hand side of your screen. My experience in Tralee has been nothing short of amazing. One of the many bonuses of studying is the ease of finding students who are far from home. The international community here is vibrant and strong. She said that about 3 years ago. I think it is still the same, but I'll leave that for Justin and Casey to confirm for you. So where exactly are we compared to where you are? If you were to draw a straight line from Toronto to Tralee, it's about 5,000 kilometers. That sounds like a long way. But bear in mind, if you went to the west coast of Canada or up somewhere along the Yukon and traveled 5,000 miles, you'd still only be just about halfway across Canada. So when you put things into perspective, it's actually just a short distance to Ireland. In the terms of the island itself, we're way down on the southwest corner. Dublin is on the east coast. Dublin is our nation's capital. We're about a 3-hour train journey from Dublin. But if you arrive, and typically a Canadian student will come into Dublin Airport, we'll pick you up at the airport the first time that you come into the country, and we'll bring you to Tralee. Once you're in Tralee, there's another airport about 10 miles just south of us, and it'll give you easy access if you want to spend weekends away, say in Europe. Paris is about an hour and a half away, London is about 1 hour away, and so on. I mentioned that Kerry has been bestowed with some beauty spots, and therefore we get lots and lots and lots of tourists come into us. Now, you may well ask, what's the relevance to you of lots of tourists coming into Tralee? The important thing is that if we have tourists, we have to provide them with accommodation. So we have lots of self-catering accommodation in Tralee. Self-catering accommodation for tourists, which doubles up as student accommodation from September through to May. And because of that, based on the basic laws of supply and demand, we will have student accommodation that is available relatively cheap to the international student. This is the main campus at the moment. Is what we call the North Campus. About 20 years ago, just a little bit less, we decided that our campus was too small for us. We had outgrown it. So we moved on to what we now call the North Campus. And most of the colleges now exist on the North Campus. However, the life sciences and engineering are still on the South Campus, but a brand new building has been built to house them. It's going to start in the third quarter of this year. So in about 18 months, 24 months time, everybody will be integrated back again onto the North Campus. And this is the original college. This is the South Campus, as I say, the home of science and engineering. These are simply views of some of the facilities we have. There's nothing dissimilar from your own college. It's a typical lecture theatre. The building on the bottom left-hand corner is what we call the SOLOS building. It's where the social sciences are housed. Bottom right-hand corner is a typical view from a graduation ceremony, or what you will call a convocation. Our graduation ceremonies happen in the end of October every year. In September this year, the 1st of September, we opened what we call the Kerry Sports Academy. It is the new home of the health and leisure program and the massage therapy program at IT Tralee. So it's a very modern facility. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see a therapy pool. There's some very well-stocked gymnasia within the building itself. Justin might be in a position to talk to you more about that than I am. There's a rather large indoor surface area, court area, which could probably manage 10, 11-a-side soccer game if you were so inclined, if the ceiling was a little bit higher. Typically, therefore, it'll be 3 basketball courts going across the court. So what we have in the European Union, we have a system of what we call levels of academic qualification, level 6, level 7, level 8. And if a student comes to us in level 6, they have an automatic pathway to get through to a level 8, which is an honours degree. So a level 6 from our perspective is about the equivalent of your diploma. A level 7 is the equivalent of your advanced diploma, and a level 8 is the equivalent of an honours degree from our point of view. The ideal situation for us when we prepare a pathway with one of your colleges is that we will give you full credit recognition for all that you have achieved in your Ontario college. So if you've got a diploma, we want a situation whereby you will come directly into year 3 of our program. No additional studies, no bridging studies required. You get full credit recognition and you come into 3rd year with our students. Now, obviously, there's a certain reality there. We're never saying that our program is the same as your program. All we're saying is that it is the equivalent of your program. So therefore, our students in 3rd year will have done something that you will not have done. Therefore, you are at a disadvantage. However, by implication, you must also have done something that they haven't done. So therefore, equally, you are at an advantage and they are at a disadvantage. So from now on, for the rest of the evening, I want simply to answer your questions as much as possible, because this is about you. I can talk and talk and talk to you about IT Tralee, but I prefer to answer the questions that you specifically want answered. So if you type in any questions, I'll be in a position to answer them. Or as I say, in 2 minutes' time, I'm going to let my 2 colleagues take over from me and they'll talk to you. And then I'll come back again to answer any of the technical questions that might arise. So why should you study at IT Tralee? There are lots and lots of reasons, and maybe, as I say, Justin and Casey will give you an additional one, or additional some more. Number one, if you're a Canadian citizen, you don't need a visa to come into Ireland. You simply turn up at Dublin Airport, you show your Canadian passport, and you're automatically entitled to come into the country for up to 90 days. However, when you get here and register with us as a full-time student, you must get what we call a GNIB, a Garda National Immigration Bureau card, or the green card. You're automatically entitled to it once you're registered as a full-time student with us. However, unfortunately, it is going to cost you €300. However, it allows you to be in the country for the full year up until the end of August. While you're there, a full-time student with a green card, therefore you can work in the country for up to 20 hours per week. And in non-term time, you can work up to 40 hours per week. Once you graduate with an honours degree, you're entitled to stay in the country for up to 1 year after that automatically to work full-time. We have an interactive multicultural community on campus. There can be up to 70 different nationalities on campus at any one time. I personally think that the best day on campus is what we call International Day. It happens in November, where each nationality is invited to show their culture, their music, their song, their dance, their food, whatever, to the rest of the campus. And sometimes by late morning, it can become very competitive, as one nationality will attempt to outsing the other nationality. We're a career-oriented organization, as in we are very, very similar to the colleges that you currently study in. So by the time you're finished with us, whether it's an ordinary degree or an honours degree you have finished, we want you to be in a position to do the job and not just think about how other people can do the job. So therefore, what we do is we make you job ready. So every student in IT Tralee gets at least 1 semester work experience, and we give the full work experience over the semester, whereas in many of your colleges, you take a practicum of a number of days per week over a number of semesters. Cassandra asked the question, where can we access the courses offered for our program semester year Where can we access the courses offered? If it's information on the courses that you're looking for, Cassandra, go on to our website, ittralee.ie, and on the front page there'll be courses, an icon there, and you just press on that and you select the course that you want the details of, and all the details of the courses that you will be taking will be given there. And if you click on the name of any course, you'll be able to get through to the syllabus for each one. We charge you a fee. There is nothing cheap about international education. However, we have what we think is a fairly attractive package. It costs 10,650 euros, but that includes accommodation for the 2 semesters plus tuition for the 2 semesters. As I said, because we have this self-catering tourist accommodation which becomes available to students, that's why we can put such an attractive package together. Those of you who are currently availing of OSAP assistance will be in a position to continue to avail of it. So we're registered with the guys in Thunder Bay just the exact same way as your home college in Ontario is registered with them. So you apply the exact same way. Realistically, it's going to be a little bit later when you get the assistance paid to you. For the simple reason I would suggest is that the guys in Thunder Bay are giving Canadian tax dollars to Canadian students, and therefore naturally they give preference to the Canadian student who's going to a Canadian college as distinct from those who are taking the Canadian tax dollars abroad. But we're talking about a difference of 10 days to 2 weeks maximum. Now, if that was to pose a financial difficulty for any student, don't worry about it. You simply contact our international office, and a woman there called Lila will organize financial plans specifically to suit your requirements. It's never a difficulty because Lila knows exactly when your OSAP funding is going to come through anyway. That is the value of us being a relatively small college, in that we're in a position to deal with students on an individual basis and make individual plans available to them. Overall, the cost of living in Tralee is significantly less than the cost of living in other parts of Ireland. The cost of living in Tralee is about the same as the cost of living in Ontario. And that's the cost of living in Ontario if you exclude Toronto. And when I say the cost of living in Tralee and in Ireland, it's when you exclude Dublin, because the accommodation costs in both cities obviously are very, very high. However, as you move out of Dublin, it becomes, and get to Tralee to finish 1 year with us, it's going to cost you 50% less to live for the year as a student in Tralee than to do so in Dublin. If you compare it with our 2 local university cities, Limerick and Cork, we work out at about 25% cheaper for a student to live with us for a year than to live in either of the 2 neighbouring cities. Yes, Lovepreet, I'm going to show you exactly where you're going to be living in one moment. The college offers a full range of services, more or less the same range of services as will be available on campus when you're at home in your Canadian college. And we offer you a very, very friendly environment. There's a statement that comes up on a slide later on from a Canadian student. I didn't ask him to send it to me. He sent me an email and he said something to the effect of that the people of Tralee put the notion that the Canadians are the friendliest people in the world to a challenge. Now, he said it. I didn't. I'm making no comment either way, but I'm hoping that my 2 colleagues will be able to confirm for you that we are very, very friendly people. There we are, that gentleman from Durham College. So some of the programs that we have articulations with, and those are just sample programs. There are several others depending on the college that you're with: animation, culinary, travel and tourism, business, computing, early childhood care and education, the full FAHP range where you can go into health and leisure, or into coaching and sports performance, or health and leisure with massage, agriculture, veterinary, and so on. Some of you, however, have obviously already applied, so it'd be more specific questions that you'll be interested in. But I'll get back to that later on. So you asked where you might live, Lovepreet. Our partnership in the package that we offer is with an organisation called Tralee Town Centre Apartments. Canadian students in the past have told us that they prefer to be in the town centre. As the name suggests, it's closer to the town than it is to the campus. It means that you're closer to the pubs and clubs and restaurants and so on. But there's a bus that brings you from just outside the front door every morning onto campus and back again. There are alternative accommodation available in the town. There's one that's only a 2-minute walk from campus. It means that you'll never be late for your first class in the morning. but it's a long way to go back into town in the evening. So the views that you have there is the external views. There's a picture of the kitchens, there's the bedroom facilities and so on. Basically, each apartment is based on 4 bedrooms. And so you share with 3 other people. If, say, 4 of you or 3 of you or 2 of you were coming together, you can request that you would share the accommodation. And the international office will be in a position to organize that with you. Otherwise, you will be allocated at random 3 other international students. Now, hoping that you get on with these 3 other international students, it means that you've got 3 international friends for life. So you've got a Chinese friend, you've got an Italian friend, you've got a Spanish friend. That means there's a couch in Italy or Germany or Spain that you can crash on anytime you want. Downside, there's a gentleman in Spain or in Canada, in Germany, who wants a couch in Canada that they can crash on as well, and they probably will turn up. So that's what the Tralee Town Centre Apartments looks like. Rebecca asked me, are we allowed to stay in town centre residence during the Christmas break? Yes. Basically, because the accommodation is off campus, the accommodation doesn't close down while the campus closes. So the campus will close for the Christmas period or for the Easter period, but you have access to your accommodation. You'll have access to your accommodation from September the 1st right through to May the 31st. What is included with our accommodation? Is it fully furnished? Yes. So everything that you need is included. All the furniture is there, the crockery, the pots, the pans, and so on. You can rent bed linen for a small fee. However, obviously some students would prefer to have their own, which is fine. There are lots, however, of department stores available in town that will sell it to you fairly cheaply rather than you bringing it across the Atlantic with you. So we recommend that you do that rather than, and then just walk away and leave it behind you when you're finished in May. So now I'm going to hand you over to Justin and Casey, and they can talk to you from a student-specific perspective, because they're going to have a perspective that I, as a former lecturer or someone in the international office, can't possibly have. Okay, guys, you're on. And I will give you full screen. There you go. I remember, think counterintuitively.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sit in the rolly chair. How's it going, guys?
Hi.
How's
Okay,
your
let's
beds?
read the questions. For the Tralee Town Center apartment, so there's the 2 different accommodations. There's the town center, and then there's also
There's Carrie Lee
Lee
and King's Court.
King's Court as well. So we're both at the town center apartments. The beds are in 3 of the rooms are single beds, and then there's 1 double bed per apartment.
And some apartments have 2 double beds. I think like if it makes a big difference to you, like I'm not sure.
You can request
yeah,
a double bed.
like you
and
can request one.
they're really good in the office. Anything that you need, they'll help you with or get it for you. So that's good. What? The cost for the accommodations, yes, it includes everything except for electricity, which you pay monthly in the office at the buildings.
You can also get them to take it out of your deposit. Like I haven't paid. You do like I think it's €350 deposit.
Yeah, at the beginning.
And if you don't care about getting that back, you can just tell them to take like whatever the electricity bill is out of that for the year, and then you get whatever's left over back, and they'll give you a receipt of however much they took out each month.
Yep. Okay. How far from campus is the town center apartments? Justin rides his bike. I don't have a bike, so I walk. Depends how fast you walk. I can walk it in about half an hour, but if you Google Maps it, it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's like slightly uphill. So the bike ride in is like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you ride. Sometimes I get under 10. I'm really trying to get there. And then on the way back, it's like you don't even have to pedal really. You're just riding it on the way back. Yeah. It takes like under 10 minutes if you're riding a bike.
However, if you don't want to walk or ride a bike, there are buses. There's a bus that comes right out front of the town center apartments, and there's also a bus that's about a 7-minute walk.
Not even like 5-minute walk,
yeah.
around the corner.
That takes you to brings you to the North Campus. Unfortunately, for this year anyway, there isn't any sort of like bus pass that you can buy. You just kind of pay as you go, which there's ups and downs to that, but
Did they have
it's
the bus
been good
pass
so far.
with, like the plebiscite?
I think
For next
there
year?
was talk of it, yeah.
Okay, so they did like a vote this year to reduce the price at the gym, or like make it part of your like a
Tuition.
one-time price of
Yeah.
the tuition, and make more frequent buses run, and like boxing classes and random kind of stuff like that at the sports center with free to all students all the time. And I think what Casey was saying, like there's we're not 100% sure, but there might be a bus pass included in that for next year. But that all starts like next September, so not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So
Working.
yeah, I'm actually working right now. I'm working in there's like a technology park right behind the school. It's like 3 buildings with a bunch of offices and a bunch of different companies in there. And so the way, yeah, so that's part of my, so the way it works for the work placement is like business has it for second semester, third year. And each stream has a different person that's like in charge of your placement. So for us, it was actually Cyril's wife, Jackie Gavaghan, who was one of our lecturers, and another lady, Derval Spring. I'm in the business management program. So you'll have a class the first semester that's work placement preparation. It's one of your courses. It's literally just, getting your CV is their resume here. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit longer and a little more detailed, but they work with you through it as like an assignment, and then getting your LinkedIn and like practicing for interviews. There's like a mock interview and stuff. And the teacher who does that with you will help you in the end kind of few weeks, because you don't have an exam for that class. You'll be working with them, and they'll give you a bunch of suggestions on places that are good for placements that have taken students before. And like you can go out and find places on your own if you want. And so for that little period, you're going through interviews and stuff. And some of them are paid. So mine's paid. So it's sweet, right? Like you're getting a degree and you're getting paid while you're getting experience. Not all of them are paid. It depends on the company, but a lot of the ones, at least in the management stream, are seem to be paid.
For working, you don't need a visa. With your GNIB card that you get when you do your immigration at the beginning when you come, you're automatically allowed to work part-time while you're in school, and then after school you're allowed to work full-time. So you don't need a visa for that. There's lots of jobs available in the town center. There's a lot of stores around there. And also everybody at the school is very helpful too. Like teachers will help you if they hear of a job. You're constantly getting emails through the school of job openings specific for your program or even other programs. So finding a job is fairly easy. Renting a bike, yes, you can rent a bike through the Tralee Town Center Apartments. You can rent it for the whole year or just per semester, depending on what you want.
I'm not 100% sure if you can rent it if you don't stay in the town center. The town center apartments are the one that's like included with the tuition and stuff. If you stay at Tralee or Kings Court, I don't know how it works. Yeah, because they keep the bikes right behind the town center apartments in like a locked gate kind of thing, and it's like part of their kind of part of the town center apartments. So yeah. I think you have to be there to rent the bike. But there's a couple shops in town, like all my roommates, they're all international students as well, their first year, but they all, since they're here for 4 years, they went and bought bikes. Yeah. So if you plan on staying here for your honors and you're going to be here for an extra year, you might want to think about, or if you just like bikes and you don't want like because I don't mind, it gets me from point A to point B, but one of my roommates is like really big into cycling and stuff, and the bikes that you can rent aren't like the best bikes. They definitely get you from point A to point B, and they'll fix any issues. If you have an issue with the bike, you take it in and they'll just fix it for you. But yeah, you have that option to buy one in town as well.
Average price of electricity?
I don't really check because they take it out of my
to be honest, it depends on you and your roommates on how much you use it.
Yeah.
Because monthly, like I've had, I think, 1 month, I had a bill that was like €50. But then another month I had one that was only €30. So it just depends on how much you guys are using, the heaters,
The heaters are a big thing.
lights, everything.
I had a couple that were like 30, but I'm sure I had
Yeah.
a couple that were more
Yeah.
when everyone's using the heaters and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. The buses come every hour. And it's depends on how many stops. The one doesn't make any stops. He gets you there in probably like 10 minutes. The other one makes a couple stops along the way, so 10 to 15 minutes, and he gets you there.
Don't like if you go to Stoker's Lodge, you can get it more like every half an hour, can't you?
No, it's every hour still.
Stoker's as well, but it's like
Yeah.
offset, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you get it at Stoker's, it's at 22 the hour.
Okay, yeah,
So,
so
like, at 9:40, 10:40. There is a lunch break, so you can't get the bus at 12:40, because they're on lunch then.
Yeah.
But it comes every hour after that.
and like right now the latest bus is like 6:10, so like I have to ride my bike in if I want to go to the gym kind of thing. Well, because I finish work at 5:30, so there's no bus that runs late. But so I'm not sure what the times will be for next year, but part of that boat thing we were talking about, there's going to be a bunch more night buses, so you should be able to get buses out here pretty late, like from the college back to the town center apartments. And I think like there's an 8:15 outside TTCA, and then Stokers has one at 8:45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you miss your bus, it's like a 5-6 minute walk, maybe 7 if it's really bad weather, but like not far at all. Just around the corner kind of thing, right by where the train station, most likely where you guys will get to Tralee from. So if you miss the bus, you can just go around the corner and catch one that's like 30 minutes later.
How much would you say your average cost monthly, or your average monthly expenses are food bus? So the bus is €1.50.
Yeah.
That's for one way. So if you're riding it, so it's €3
A day if
a
you're
day
taking it both
if you're
ways.
taking it both ways. And you just have to pay every time you go. There's no bus pass, or there
Yeah.
wasn't this year. Food, depending on if you're a picky eater, I don't know, or if you like certain foods or don't like others. You could definitely eat cheap here. I
Yeah.
would say, like, for me, I try and eat healthy.
Yeah.
So my bills are usually a little bit more expensive than, say, my roommates. But
How much are your shops usually
I would
cost?
say, I usually budget for about 50 a week,
50 a
but
week?
that's a lot for
Yeah.
one person.
See-
Some of the stuff I use for a couple weeks though,
Yeah.
like at a time. So
Some of my roommates, or all of my roommates, are like very big on saving and stuff. Like they're on a tight budget. So I've kind of gotten in the habit from them of like always trying to like save when I'm in the store. We go to the Lidl, which is like
Lidl is definitely Lidl or Aldi are probably your best bets if you're on a budget.
Yeah, they're like supermarkets kind of
Yeah.
thing, like Loblaws or whatever.
Dunn's is more like a Winners. I
Yeah.
would say equivalent to like Winners in Canada.
Yeah, it's almost even like Walmart. In a way. Not like the price wise, but like they got like everything in that store.
Yeah,
It seems to
they
be
have food
a little bit
and
more expensive, I think.
bedding, everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rooms are co-ed, yes, but you can request, I believe, to be in an all female or all male room. Like I'm in a co-ed room. There's myself and another girl and then 2 guys. So yes, they are co-ed rooms. For sorry.
No, I was just gonna answer hers.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it was,
that's what I
yeah, it was for electricity for the €50. It was actually €50 each, not individually.
So you pay, you go into the office yourself and they already have the bill split up.
Mhm.
So you just pay your portion and then everybody, or your roommates pay their portion.
Or you can just let them take it out of the deposit. Like I haven't paid them any, they've just been taking it out of my deposit.
You get your own room and bathroom. So you have to look after like cleaning your bathroom and keeping your own room tidy. You don't have to share a bathroom.
Yeah, each bathroom has its own shower. They're small, but they're
But they
fine.
work for one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah, my roommates are like 6'4", so like they always joke like smack their head off like the roof thing coming out. It's not that bad, but they are tight, but they work fine. They're clean and in good condition and stuff like that. For the hot water, it's like set on a timer, so you can change that if you want, but like we messed with it and kind of screwed it up. So I think the way they have them set is it collects the hot water at night, and then in the morning when everyone wakes up, you have your showers and stuff. And then if you run out, because each room has its own like one hot water heater for like each apartment. So for your 4 showers, you can turn on the boost thing like during the off hours, which will like get you some hot water in like 10-15 minutes, but that does cost a lot. So I'm sure we've paid a bunch of electricity on the boost.
The thing with the hot water as well is there is only a certain amount for every day. So depending, it may be something you have to talk to your roommates about if they're used to taking long showers. You will probably definitely have to take a cold shower at some point in your time here. There have been many cold shower days.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I'm not a fan of the cold showers, so I try to just shower at the gym.
Yeah.
If you're like first thing in the morning, you're
places to
usually
shower.
fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like later in the day, like Izzy said, if you end up coming home later in the day,
unfortunately, there you may be out of hot water.
Yeah.
How's the weather?
Sunny all the time.
Warmer than Canada in the winter. Yeah, it's actually been fairly sunny. We're coming obviously into spring now. But it's been fairly nice the past few weeks, I would say.
Except for like the 1 week with all the storms.
Yeah, we had a few weeks in a row where we had literally a storm every weekend. We don't necessarily get snow here. It's more hail.
Yeah, they call it snow, but it's like little sometimes
it's
bigger,
more
like hail.
And it doesn't stay. It stays for maybe an hour, and that's about it.
Yeah,
that's as far as it goes.
And like at home, you'll have a storm, which will be like other than the last few storms we had, where they literally had like names.
Yeah,
it's mostly like it seemes to be for the storms here, like too mostly wind, like really insane wind.
Very windy.
Yeah.
When you're walking, like like I've been walking outside and the wind because you get a gust of wind and you like blow over.
But it doesn't, except for the wind, which seems to go a lot of the time. Like the rain and stuff, it doesn't like when you get a storm at home, it'll just be pouring rain for a long time. But here it seems to be like it'll blast you like really heavy for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then it'll stop, and then it might get like sunny out for some, and then it'll like hail 10 minutes later, and then so it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
It's winter right now, so it's like the most rainy, stormy kind of time. But like the first semester in September and stuff like that, it's pretty nice.
Oh, it was nice.
Yeah, and like compared to, I'm sure a lot of you where you live in Canada, it's covered in snow right now. So yeah, you can like there's a couple days where it got like below 0.
But
like
no,
like -1 maybe, or like 0,
maybe
and that
feels like -3.
So now I'm used to it. Like go outside and it's like 4 degrees and you're like, oh, it's so cold today. So like it's way more temperate and mild than a Canadian winter, obviously, and you can ride your bike year round, which you wouldn't be able to do in Canada.
Yeah, definitely need a raincoat.
Yeah. I learned that one the hard way.
Yes, there is a cafeteria on campus. There's actually like a little like cafe in the North Campus building. We're both on North Campus, so we can't necessarily answer questions about South Campus if anybody knows that they're going to be on South Campus.
I think they have a canteen.
They definitely have a canteen. I just can't say as if it's like ours or not.
I think their canteen's like our.
Okay.
So we have a cafe and a
canteen, where you can go and buy food. I believe it's €6 for.
Yeah, it's $5.50 and it's
course
like
meal or something like that.
Like it's different every day, but like it's actually pretty good.
The culinary
they have
students cook it.
Oh, do they?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, at the restaurant?
Yeah, at the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And,
sweet.
Yeah,
like there's like a little training restaurant as well where like the culinary students do their thing. Like also in the canteen beside that, it's like a little like portable kind of looking thing. with a bunch of tables in it and stuff, and it's almost like a cafeteria lunchroom or whatever. You can get like sandwiches and wraps like they have it at this one.
Yeah.
Like made ones, not ones you buy off the shelf. They have ones you buy off the shelf as well at the one inside the North Campus. But the canteen has like it's $5.50 for a meal, and it'll be potato, veg, gravy if you want it, and then
a protein.
yeah, so
like
like
a meat,
fish
chicken.
cakes or like roast like I said like the worst one. I don't know why it's the only one that can come to my mind. But no, it's good food. Like they had like pork chops one day and like
They have chicken too.
chicken, yeah, like stuffed chicken with like stuffing and
Yeah.
sauce and stuff, and it's actually
Good meals,
it's pretty good. Yeah, it's like a
definitely
full
good
plate
meals,
for $5.50,
Yeah.
so it's decent.
How much hot water would you say? There's definitely enough for 4 showers as long as somebody doesn't take like a 20-minute hot shower.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely enough for
Yeah, like
10-minute showers.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know exactly how much. Like, I don't even know how big the hot water tank would be. To be
I think it's
honest.
different in like different apartments. Like I know
Yeah.
the one apartment, it was it seemed like the boost was like way quicker, and it like the third floor ones seemed to have like a little bit less water pressure, but the hot water lasts a lot longer. And the ones on the ground floor, the showers have like really high pressure, like so it's nice, but they seem to run out a little bit faster. But I'm probably one who's guilty for taking a little too long in the shower sometimes. Like I'll wake up and I'm just like kind of waking up
Yeah.
while I'm like sitting in the steam at first, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the boy, I've had to talk to the boys about that. So that's my bad. But like still, even if you mess up and you take an extra like 15-minute, 20-minute shower, it still should be fine for people to have like a decent like long shower. You know,
Yeah,
it's not like
for sure.
it's not like you're like, oh, I have to have a super short shower or anything like that. It's just that like if 4 people have like a nice long shower in the morning, there might be room for like another shower or half a shower kind of thing, you know. So when I get home from working all day, then it's definitely cold. But sometimes last semester when I was in classes, I'd get home a lot earlier and then I could have a shower during the day and it was still hot water.
There is a TV in like one main TV in all of the rooms. Personally, we don't use ours in our room. You guys bought like a little projector thing.
Yeah,
that
so
you can hook up to your laptops.
the TVs that come are kind of like the size of a computer monitor, like a
Yeah.
biggish computer monitor. So they're like
They're
pretty small
pretty
TVs,
small.
but they're like, you know.
You can request a bigger one, I
Can
do
you?
believe.
And actually some rooms have bigger ones
Yeah,
too.
and some rooms have bigger ones. So just kind of depends. I don't think you brought your Xbox, right? But
Yeah.
then it blew up.
Yeah, so make sure you bring converters. But if you have something serious, like I thought when I was coming here that you could get like there was adapters and converters. And adapters just where you plug like a normal thing in and you can plug it in the wall, but they've said like hair dryers are like higher voltage kind of things. You need like a converter, which I thought was just as simple. It's just a thing you buy and plug in the wall, but it turns out it's a lot harder to find. It's like a big box kind of thing, and it's a little bit of effort. So you might want to, like if you're bringing an Xbox or a PS4 or something like that, buy an extra cord with the European plug, because what we did, I just plugged it into one of the adapters and plugged it into the wall. First week with the roommates, we went to turn it on and it was like a huge pop and it like blew out the there's like the big box on the Xbox, the surge protector. So that thing blew out and had to like replace the cord anyways. So yeah, keep in mind that like things like blow dryers or like
straighteners,
curlers.
straighteners.
So that kind of stuff, you may just want to buy it here and like save yourself the hassle trying to get the converter for like an Xbox or a PS4 or something that you can't just replace. That is like computers will be fine. You can just plug a computer into an adapter, stuff like that. But yeah, something like that, you might want to buy a new cord with like a European socket thing.
Not European, UK.
UK, yeah, sorry.
They're different.
Oh.
That's okay. No,
it's the one with the 3 prongs, and if you look up the plugs in Republic of Ireland, you'll find it easy enough.
Yeah. Do you take the train to the airport? Yeah, you can take a train or you can actually take a bus as well. There's a bus that goes from Tralee to Dublin. And then you catch another bus in Dublin that's like a 5-minute bus ride, and it'll take you right to the airport. Or you can take the train. There's a train station in Tralee too that will take you right to Dublin. I've done both. I have only used the Dublin airport, so I can't say. There is a Kerry airport,
And Shannon as
and
well.
there is a Shannon airport as well. So yeah, the Kerry airport is very small, and they don't have a huge variety of flights. But
Yeah,
if you're just trying to go over to like the UK, you definitely can get a flight from there.
yeah. I don't think you can fly in from there from Canada. Like it doesn't take, definitely not Kerry Airport because it's small. It doesn't take big
No.
international flights. But like when we were coming back from the break, I know a couple of girls that did like transfer
Yeah.
flights. So you can land in Dublin, and if you don't feel like taking the train over or the
Yeah.
bus over, you can just get a transfer and then fly into Kerry, and then you're super close from that airport. And just quickly, the guy who asked about the the girl who asked about the TVs. I don't know about Blu-ray players, but you can definitely plug in HDMI. What me and my roommates ended up doing, one of my guys has it in his room just for his PS4, but we all pitched together and got a projector on Amazon. You can get like a cheap, like pretty good projector off Amazon. Like it works fine. We have no
they use
complaints.
it. It works really well.
Yeah, and it was like I think 45 euros or something like that. So yeah, and when you all pitch together, it's like nothing, right? So I would say that's worth it.
Do teachers help you find your placement, and are they arranged for you? Personally, in my program, I'm doing the massage program. There is no placement for the 2 semesters that you're here. It's all done, all of the modules are done at the school.
Yeah,
for
so
yours, you have a placement outside of the school, so.
yeah, like for the business ones, and I think a bunch of other ones too. There's a placement third year, second semester. It's always in that time frame. So like you can't, if you want to like organize it around, just be aware that it's always second semester, third year. And yeah, so there's someone assigned, like depending on the program and the stream you're in. So like management, accounting, marketing, they all have someone different in charge of helping you find the placement. And it's more of like a helping you out kind of thing. You still have to, you can't just do nothing. You won't get any job because you also have to think you have a class of people that all want all the jobs as well, all the best jobs and the ones that are closest to you. If you don't mind, honestly, traveling, at least for the business management stream, if you don't mind traveling to and like living second semester somewhere else in Ireland, like Cork or Dublin or wherever it may be, anywhere, there's tons of job opportunities at really good companies. Like they have good corporate tax laws or something like that in Ireland. So there's a lot of really big businesses like Dell, Google, Intel. Like there's a bunch of other really big companies. Yeah, so like if
they come to the school, I believe, and do like a talk for anybody that's going into the computing or anything like that. There's always jobs there.
Yeah,
so yes, teachers definitely help you find your placement. They will make sure that you have a placement.
But it's up to you at the end of the day to go and like to
to
contact them and like go to the interview, do well in the interview. You'll have like a practice interview and stuff like that, like training you how they do interviews here and just interviews in general. I'm sure lots of you guys have done plenty of interviews before, but like we had a couple of German students that were in my program and they had literally never like had a job before, and like they got taught how to make a CV, how to do, like they had a mock interview as like your big assignment in that class, like instead of an exam kind of thing. So yeah, they help you with that, but at the end of the day, you still have to do the work to get the placement.
How would you describe your first week in Ireland? Well, that's when we met each other.
Yeah, that was...
No, honestly, I've never met so many people in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like we met each other. My roommates are all from Canada. We obviously all met each other. We didn't know each other ahead of time. It was honestly so much fun.
Yeah, like
just yeah.
The TTCA is like, so
there's a lot of international students.
People from all over the place.
People who are going to be in the same boat as you.
Yeah,
like,
and all
coming
super friendly,
over here.
fun.
Yeah. Like his roommates are all from Zimbabwe. We literally all met in the first week that we were here. We all like hang out and we're really good friends now. So like yeah, it was really fun. You meet a lot of people.
Like I have a ton of buddies, like good friends, like Cyril was saying, you know, you
Yeah.
can have a couch to crash on. I have a bunch of like good buddies
Yeah.
from France, like guys from Zimbabwe, people from all over the place. And like I'm sure I'll be seeing some of them in the summer. So
Yeah. Getting organized and planning. So there is a orientation day. So I came on September 1st of 2019. And so I was here, I think I had 4 days, and then there was the orientation day, which was at the IT. And it was really helpful. You get your timetable then, so you know your classes. It's really straightforward to find classes here.
yeah,
There's signs that point you to what wing you're in or what section you need to be in.
if you're anything like me, you'll still be lost. Like not lost, but still be like trying to figure out what class you're in near the end of the semester. And that's, you know, it's fine. It's just like any other school pretty much. It's actually it's because of the way it is. Like if you're in the North Campus main building, it's like 3 floors and like a long, like it's kind of like tall and long. So you'll find it for
Yeah.
sure if you just keep walking down. And if you don't, you'll find someone who can point you in the right direction.
Yes, there's Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi at the apartment and there's Wi-Fi at the school. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing actually. So depending on like which room you are, which place, like sometimes the Wi-Fi can be a little shoddy, you know.
Mhm.
And they have
Some people have chosen to purchase Wi-Fi outside of like the one that's already offered at the apartments, which is completely up to you and or your roommates.
yeah.
Like it's cheap.
See, like for
So-
me and my roommates, we literally just you're gonna have to get a phone when you're here, regardless, right? So there's a company called Three, right in town, and it's like a pay as you go by them, like month by month kind of thing. So you get like a top up at the beginning of the month. You put it in, then you have like a month's worth, and it's literally 20 euros for unlimited data, 4G. So I just like literally hotspot everything. You can hotspot your console, Xbox, PS4, whatever, and play off of that, and like do everything you need off of a hotspot kind of thing, because it's unlimited data for 20 euros, and then it also comes with unlimited calls to other people with Three, and then a bunch of minutes inside like Republic of Ireland, and unlimited texts inside Republic of Ireland, or maybe in Europe. And then you get also like 8 gigs of data anywhere else in Europe if you decide to travel, which was super helpful because
Yeah.
flights are like very cheap here compared to
mhm.
home. So if you do want to travel, like a couple of us went to
Mhm.
Amsterdam and stuff like that, it was super helpful to have the data over there, and the flights are super cheap.
How early did you arrive in Ireland? So as I said, I came September 1st. That was the first day, unless you made prior arrangements with the Tralee Town Center apartments, if that's where you were staying. That was the first day that we could actually get into our apartments. So that's when I came.
Yeah,
I know that there were a couple girls that came earlier, because they wanted to do some traveling around before school started. So they came earlier, but they weren't allowed to get into their apartments until like a few days before the
Yeah.
actual move-in day.
I think it's like it kind of depends. You got to call the people. Like at the town center apartments, they're really chill. If they can help you, they will help you, and they're like really nice. You'll meet
Definitely,
Florence, the
yeah.
guy in the front office. He used to be a
Super
student.
nice,
Now
yeah.
he's a guy for
Manages
like
it,
day
yeah.
to day kind of thing. And oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So my one roommate Hadley, he plays cricket. He played for the Kerry team here, and so I'm not sure what he did, but he was in the apartment like 2-3 months early, like for the whole summer, I think.
Yeah.
So you can like if you talk to them,
Make arrangements.
yeah, they'll
Yeah.
make
for
any
sure.
arrangements they can with you.
Will you guys be studying in Ireland in September 2020, or will you have graduated? I will have graduated.
Yeah, so I will have graduated as well, but with like the regular degree. Then you have the option to come back for honors degree. So for one more year. So you will graduate and you get your degree, but if you wanted to come back for another year and get honors degree, then you can do that. And then after you get honors degree, you can get your master's degree. And
for anybody who is coming into the massage stream, Health and Leisure with Massage, You guys are coming directly into 4th year, so that is your honors degree. So I will be graduating with my honors degree this year in October or whenever convocation is. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like reading. I feel blind right now.
For the massage therapy program, no, you don't need to bring your own linens. Everything, they have everything at the school. Did you gain clinical hours? There isn't a clinic at the school. I know at Fleming, that's where I went to, in Ontario. We had a clinic in the school that we did clinical hours in. There isn't a clinic at the school here. The 2 modules that you have that are massage based, that are like hands-on, are just basically working on each other, like your other fellow students, fellow classmates, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. So is there a academic calendar where they can see all like the dates, like start of the semester, end of the semester,
The
stuff
big
like that?
calendar. You
I know
will
there's
get
that
that in the online. I don't know if there is. But you will get
Do you know if
during the
It won't be
orientation.
available until about May.
Okay.
May.
It'll be more or less the same as this year's,
Yeah.
just to change with the additional day
Okay.
And it's just on like the IT Tralee website?
on the IT website.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be in the international section.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the international section of the IT Tralee website in May, he said they'll know, and you can go on and find that calendar of like all the important dates.
Mhm.
Also, like Casey was saying, sorry.
Yeah,
cut you
no,
off.
that's okay. If you can't find it or whatever, you, in the first whole week of school,
Yeah,
they're around the school all over.
they have like a
They have like
jumbo
giant stacks and like it's like a jumbo like
calendar for the year kind of thing, yeah.
yeah, it's like a jumbo calendar for the whole year. Definitely you can put it on your wall. That's where mine is right now.
Yeah,
So all my important dates are up on the wall. Like I see when their breaks are, I see when bank holidays are, everything like that.
bank holidays here are like their statutory
yeah.
holidays kind of thing.
What other questions were there? Laundry. Oh, yes, laundry. There is a washing machine and dryer at the Tralee Town Center Apartments. I believe it's €1 or €1.50 for a token, which gets you a wash
What? Oh, the
or dry.
yeah.
Um,
But the washing
or
machines are pretty
you-
small, honestly. It's-
yes, and
Yeah.
at one point the dryer wasn't working, so you couldn't dry your clothes.
Yeah.
So there is another option. Well, you can find your own other option, or there's a blue bag system, I guess you want to call
Yeah.
it. So there's a small blue bag and there's a large blue bag. The small blue bag is €9. The large is 13. You pack all your clothes that you want washed in it. You tape the top closed, you put what apartment you're in.
They give you a little
and
sticker, you just
you
write your name
take
and your
it-
apartment on it.
Yeah, you leave it in the office, and it will be taken and washed for you throughout the day. They're usually back by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they're washed, dried, folded.
Yeah.
Everything.
And like the big bag, like last time I think I set a record, like stomping on it, stuffing it and stuff, like with like my gym clothes and stuff.
It full.
Yeah, and like towels, like I have a
Don't
bunch
leave
of
space.
clothes. By the time I end up doing my laundry, it's almost like all my clothes I'm washing. And like if you shove it, the big blue bag, you shouldn't have a problem. Like you'd have more of a problem carrying if you fill it all the way up than having issues with the clothes you need to wash.
Yeah. When it comes to bank account, it's completely up to you. I did set up a bank account here. I just found it was easier, especially because of transferring money from Canada to here. Does cost money, so I just transferred like a lump sum to here, and it's in my account, and it's the money that I use. You can use like Canadian credit cards, debit cards. You are charged a fee though.
And you get like it depends, like if the transaction rate or the currency exchange rate that day is like shitty, then
Yeah.
right, you're gonna be paying more than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, I know one of my roommates didn't get one, and she is just still using her credit card from Canada. So it definitely is up to you on what you
It's
want.
weird though, because I think like they do tell you, I think for like safety purposes kind of thing, you have to open an Irish bank account with and put 3,000 euros in it. So they think they do say that you have to do that, but then once you're hearing stuff like that, like you can talk to them and they're very understanding and willing to work with people on a basis. And like Casey said, like we know people that didn't end up opening bank accounts and stuff like that, and it wasn't a serious issue. I think it's more to make sure that you don't come here over your head and like spend all your money, so then you don't have, so they know that you have enough money to survive off, kind of thing.
Will there be fees attached to making purchases in bills?
I use Bank of Ireland. There's like a little Bank of Ireland office inside the school, which makes it really easy to set up. I know some people use AIB, but for the most part, Bank of Ireland's a lot more convenient because they also have an ATM like right inside the school as well. So
yes, there's lots of different banks. There's Ulster Bank as well. And there's AIB, which is in the town center, which is super close to the town center apartments. So that's maybe also another option for banking. I'm with Bank of Ireland as well.
I don't think there's any fees if you're a student, right?
No.
Yeah, so you get a student
There's
account and there's no fees
There's
for
no
transactions and
fees.
stuff.
Yeah. What else? How does convocation work for international students?
Not sure.
There were Canadian students here last year that I met. They came back over here in October for the convocation specifically. I think they were here for 2 weeks. I'm not 100% sure.
And it's in like October?
Yeah, it's in October. It was, I believe, this year in the KSA.
Last Friday in October. The last Friday.
The
Oh,
last Friday in October. There was a question that we didn't do.
Was there?
Up here. If you go for 1 year ordinary degree and you decide you want to complete an honors degree and stay for another year, how soon do you have to know to stay in Ireland?
Yeah,
that
sure.
might be a question that you answer.
Oh yeah, sorry, go for it.
Okay, if you come for an ordinary degree, you'll finish third year, you will graduate with a BA or a B Buzz. And at that point, you decide entirely whether or not you want to progress to year 4. You don't have to make that decision until the end of April. So you'll have lots and lots of opportunity. Now, the end of April is the deadline from the admissions office perspective. If, however, you decided when you get your third year results that, no, I think I might like to go on and do 4th year, don't worry, we will not turn you away.
That might be another one for you.
I need my glasses.
It just said, do you have to
good,
be
it's not
present
just
at
me.
convocation to get your degree? No.
No, if you're not present at convocation, you will graduate in what we call in absentia. It's Latin, it simply means in your absence, and then the parchment will be sent to you by post. However, ourselves and 2 sister colleges are in the process, hopefully, of organising a special conferring ceremony in Ontario for next year, for this year's cohort, so that they won't have to come over. They will still be invited to come over if they so wish to be there with their classmates and so on. But alternatively, you might be in a position to graduate in Ontario. That should happen for this year's group, and therefore, if successful this year, we'll carry it on for next year as well.
Question for Cyril.
Okay, there's a good question. There has been only one incident of coronavirus in Ireland at the moment. It was a student who had been on a trip with his classmates to northern Italy, and immediately he was put into isolation, as indeed were all his classmates, and the entire school was shut down in an effort to isolate the entire problem. So at the moment, we are quite lucky in Ireland. However, it is, realistically, there is a growth rate in Britain in that respect. If coronavirus happens, yes, in IT Tralee, yes, the college will be shut down. Everybody will be put into isolation. But as Annika says, yes, wash your hands. And there's lots of hand washing facilities available for you in the college. Okay, so as you know, KOM Consultants, who operate out of Hamilton, are our agents in Ontario, and they have hosted you this evening. If you talk to their people, either Sue Dorman or Amelia Brooks, I think Amelia might actually be with us this evening. They will look after you. Any service that KOM provide to you is entirely free of charge to you. Casey has kindly given you her email address, so if you want a student-to-student connection, feel free to use that. The application deadline is the end of May. However, we would encourage you to put your application in a little bit earlier, because it gives everybody an opportunity to make sure, for example, that you get the combination that you want in your apartment. So if you want to share with 3 or 4 others, or as you've spoken about previously, if you want to be in a single gender apartment or in a co-ed apartment, whichever suits you. So we encourage you to get your application in as quickly as possible, or as early as possible. Basically what happens then is we will give you a conditional offer, the condition being that you successfully complete your diploma or your advanced diploma, depending on which you're on. And once you get your final transcript from your own college, you send it to us, your application is then updated, and you get a full offer at that point. The issue that came up about electricity, yes, our electricity system is different to your electricity system. I specifically didn't mention it in the presentation that I was making, because KOM will organize another webinar later on in the year for people who have applied and have decided they're going, and then we have sort of a leaving webinar to talk about the practicalities of what actually happens in Ireland. If there is an incident and the college gets shut down, will there be any supplementary online questions or anything similar? Will we still be able to graduate? Almost certainly you will be able to graduate without an issue. We are operating on the basis that the coronavirus needs to be managed, but it is being managed. So from that point of view, we don't expect any major epidemic to happen in Ireland. Almost certainly by the time you'll be considering getting here, I can reasonably predict that the coronavirus issue will have been maybe not entirely resolved, but will have been greatly ameliorated. But the college will always look after a student. Every student who's ever signed up to IT Tralee will get the opportunity to finish their degree. They will graduate successfully. So whatever appropriate solutions will be put in place, they will be put in place. How to make room arrangements once accepting the offer? If you contact Jason or Lila in the international office, the same address that just the application or the application acceptance would have come from, international@IT Tralee, just mention your preference for your accommodation, and Lila and Jason will record that when we are dealing with Tralee Town Centre apartments. Okay, thank you, Anika. Thank you too. So we're now just after 10 p.m. So I think our time on this side is probably up, unless there are any more specific questions that you have to ask. Alternatively, as I say, Casey's email is there if you wish it, or alternatively, you can talk directly to me, Cyril Gavaghan at IT Tralee. I entirely accept that you have a big decision to make. I know we have presented it as it's a reasonably attractive package and so on. It's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of time. It's still a lot of miles. So make sure that you have all the information, that you're comfortable in making that decision to come across to us in Ireland. Once you get here, we guarantee we will look after you, but it's still a big decision that you have to make. So feel free to ask us. There is no daft question. The only daft question is the one that you don't ask. So make sure that you ask all the questions that you want information on. Will we get an email about the next webinar? Yes, KOM will give you emails about the next webinar. And again, you'll be invited on the same basis to attend. How late can we make arrangements without there being an issue? As some of our classmates, but waiting for acceptance to come in. To make arrangements for the accommodation, again, we suggest as soon as possible. Now, as the guys have been saying, Tralee Town Centre apartments are very accommodating if they can at all. So therefore, even if the apartments have been filled and they don't have a 4-room available anymore, they'll be in a position to juggle around to move other people on the basis that they haven't actually occupied their apartment until the 1st of September. So, and again, because we're a small college, we can tend to be that little bit more flexible. We would like you to get in as quickly as possible, but we'll do whatever we can to facilitate you as we go. Okay. Yeah. Well, then all that's left for me is to say thank you to Casey and to Justin. And thank you to Adam and Amelia on the other side. As I say, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me or Casey at any time, and we'll be happy to talk to you if we can. Okay. So thank you all, and hopefully we'll be in a position to greet some of you in Ireland in September the 1st. We will offer you what we call a Céad Míle Fáilte. I know that means absolutely nothing to you. But you see, Irish is our official language. We all speak English, don't worry, but every now and then we drop some Irish into the conversation, and we presume that everybody knows what we're talking about. So the first week that you arrive, some friendly Irish student is going to ask you, do you want to come down to the canteen for some crack? They don't sell illicit drugs on campus in Tralee.
No.
It's an Irish word. It means fun, entertainment, and so on. And as I say, we just presume everybody knows what we're talking about. So by the time you leave us, you'll probably have a second language as well. Okay. So good evening, everybody, and hopefully, as I say, we'll see you in Tralee in September. Thank you and good night.
Bye.
See you later.